Welcome to SOS Media, your number one source of the latest news, opinions, and in-depth investigations that dig deeper into today's developing stories around the globe. In this third and last part of the SOS series to remind ourselves about the allegations that R. Kelly has faced during this dark period of legal wars, we today bring you the notable events that happened from the time of release of the second part of the Surviving R. Kelly docuseries, to the current and promising appeal period. On March 13, 2020, R. Kelly faced new accusations resulting from updating his indictment by adding 5 acts of racketeering and with 4 more counts of violating the Mann Act, for allegedly coercing and transporting women and girls across state lines to engage in illegal activity. 4 months later, towards the end of August, R. Kelly was attacked while in his sleep by a fellow inmate in Chicago's Metropolitan Correctional Center. His attorney called for his immediate release, fronting the argument that the government could not ensure his safety. However, the request, along with many other attempts to get him released on bail, was plainly denied. After several delays, mostly due to the COVID-19 pandemic and the rejection by the appellate court to be released R. Kelly on bail ahead of his trial, his federal trial in New York officially began on August 9 with jury selection, which contained 7 men and 5 women. The 5-week trial consisted of arguments and physical evidence, some of which was not shown to the public, and 45 witness testimonies from the prosecution alone. The alleged victims, 8 Jane Does and 2 John Does, recounted their alleged experiences with R. Kelly that his former dismissed employees and associates corroborated with. Eventually, on June 9, 2021, Robert Sylvester Kelly requested and ultimately made major changes to his legal team, with just 2 months prior to the start of his federal trial in Brooklyn, New York. Half of his legal team, attorney Steve Greenberg and Michael Leonard, withdraw from the case, leaving Tom Farinella and Nicole Blank-Becker as R. Kelly's legal representatives. Most of R. Kelly's supporters were, however, not pleased with Greenberg's leaving. And consequently, on June 23, 2021, R. Kelly was moved to Brooklyn jail ahead of his August trial, and New York attorney Deborah O'Canick, who was a former assistant district attorney for the Bronx District Attorney's Office, joined his legal team. It was on August 9, 2021 jury selection, and R. Kelly's trial began with 12 jurors and 6 substitutes selected. Due to the then COVID-19 protocols, the U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly determined at a pretrial hearing that witnesses in the case would testify from the jury box, and jurors would be spread out in the gallery. Judge Ann Donnelly also made a series of rulings to narrow down what evidence could be shown to jurors. Media and members of the public were availed access to a video feed of the proceedings, but were unable to see evidence as it was presented at trial. Subsequently, R. Kelly pleaded not guilty to all charges. On 27 September, following 2 days of deliberations, the jury found R. Kelly guilty on all 9 counts. Gloria Allred, a lawyer who represented several government witnesses, told reporters how she believed R. Kelly as being the worst offender in the particular category of crimes. Later in November 2021, the issue of witness intimidation arose when a man was sentenced to 8 years in prison, after allegedly intimidating a witness before R. Kelly's New York trial. Earlier in June 2020, Michael Williams had allegedly set fire to a car belonging to the father of a key government witness who was due to testify, in order to prevent the alleged victim-turned-witness from continuing to cooperate, according to a statement then from the attorney's office in New York. Williams attempted to use violence and intimidation to divert the course of justice and prevent a victim's voice from being heard, the office said. Finally, in June 2022 came the New York sentencing, with R. Kelly sentenced to 30 years in prison by the U.S. District Judge Ann Donnelly, for allegedly using his celebrity status to abuse children and women. Eventually, in August 2022, R. Kelly's new federal trial in his hometown here in Chicago also kicked off, with government prosecutors saying at the second federal trial opening that R. Kelly had a dark and hidden side that the public rarely saw during his career. Finally, in September 2022, another guilty verdict was slapped on R. Kelly when the jury convicted him on 6 out of 13 counts after the 4-week Chicago case trial. He was, however, acquitted of the charge of conspiring to obstruct justice, related to his 2008 trial. Barely 2 months post-trial, R. Kelly's former manager was sentenced to 20 months in prison for stalking and harassing one of R. Kelly's alleged victims. Donald Russell had pleaded guilty in July to using threats and intimidation to silence one of the women accusing R. Kelly. Claims say that he used a code name when he published explicit photos of her online in an attempt to stop her testifying against R. Kelly. A rather surprising turn of events came in January 2023 when a Chicago prosecutor said she was dropping R. Kelly's charges, dating back as far as 1998, for he was already facing decades in prison. Cook County State's Attorney Kim Foxx said her office would no longer be pursuing R. Kelly's indictments, adding that, "Sometimes justice is served even when there is no conviction." Later in February 2023, a Chicago judge sentenced R. Kelly to 20 years in prison following the 2022 trial in which a jury found he had gotten involved with children. Nonetheless, in a victory for R. Kelly's lawyers, the judge had said that all but one of those years would be served at the same time as his previous 30-year New York prison sentence. Now, R. Kelly, through his lawyer Jennifer Bonjean, has appealed both his New York and Illinois sentences and filed multiple arguments outlining why he believes the convictions should be overturned. Among the points he raised are the facts that there was a potentially biased jury, and that he was misled about the ages of the individuals he involved with, who were alleged to be minors at the time. Officially filed by his attorney Jennifer Bonjean, R. Kelly is actually looking to either the appeals reversing his convictions or ordering for a fresh trial. As per the court documents, R. Kelly's legal team believed the government did not meet its burden of proof in court despite the jury finding him guilty on all counts at the time of his trial. In these new appeals, the R&B King's legal representatives allegedly took issue with the fact that some of the jury members had watched the damning 2019 documentary, Surviving R. Kelly, and should never have been placed in the courtroom. Shortly after U.S. District Judge Harry Lynan Weber issued R. Kelly with a 20-year sentence for the Chicago convictions, his attorney Jennifer Bonjean filed her notice to appeal with the Seventh Circuit Court of Appeals in a move that was not a surprise, as she had a month earlier noted her intent to appeal R. Kelly's convictions on the Chicago charges. Today, the appeal processes are already underway, and the government's recent request for extension of time to file the reply to R. Kelly's brief therefore means that, for all of us who are enthusiastically following this R. Kelly appeal process, can now expect the brief for the appellee to be due by October 2nd, and the reply brief by the appellant, if any, by October 23, 2023. As we continue to witness new developments occurring towards R. Kelly's appeal proceedings, we can just stay optimistic that this time around, the relevant truth will be put into consideration. This is the ray of hope that makes us keep our breath and hold. We believe R. Kelly and his legal team will be able to outline all the injustices, misinterpretations of the law, cases of lying and witness tampering that have marred all R. Kelly's legal proceedings, and that the law, truth and justice will this time along prevail. It has been a long wait, and we can't wait any longer to see R. Kelly regain his deserved freedom. Thank you for watching today's video, brought to you by SOS Media. If you haven't subscribed to our channel yet, please subscribe, and hit the bell icon so you never miss any of our videos. Also remember to leave your comment about today's topic in the comment section below.